Hello and welcome back to Luke and Shay's Place. I hope everybody's had a great day today. And I have a banger reaction video for you tonight. It's part 3 to Dr. Umar. For those who have been following us, Dr. Umar has been in the hot seat. His daughter posted a video where she basically put him on blast for not being a part of her life, and she was looking for her sister, and she wanted to know if she had a sister, and she wanted to have a relationship with her sister. So right now I'm gonna jump right into that video, actual part 3 to the video. I did a part 2 after that with a woman who actually knew Dr. Umar, and she kind of told what her encounter. Basically, they had a meeting and she wanted to share her experience that she had with him one-on-one. So this is a part 3, and I'm just gonna dive right into it. I have 3 short videos to share with you and react to. But before I begin, if you like the content that we are sharing, content that I'm sharing tonight, please like, because that puts us in the algorithm so that our podcast can grow and other people can find our platform. And also comment. I like to hear your comments. Your feedback matters, and we will reply to you. And what is most important is your subscription. It's 100% free. So subscribe, and also click that notification bell so that you can get alerts when we'll be posting and we have content, going on live streams or just posting in general. So let's dive right into this reaction video and see what we got going on here. Let's see what Dr. Umar's talking about, because these videos are of him. So I'm going to play the first one. I'm going to jump right into this because I'm interested in seeing what he has to say. All right, so let's get to it. All right, let's see what he has to say here. For my first video. Okay. Let's see what we got. No, I don't think it's that one. I'm trying to see which one I want to play first. Okay, I'm going to play this one first. Let's check this out.
There is a silver lining in this Mama Smurf, Baby Smurf scandal. There's a little piece of silver lining in this Mama Smurf, Baby Smurf scandal. And the little piece of silver lining, Amsterdam Africans send the invite. And that little piece of silver lining in the Mama Smurf, Baby Smurf dishonesty tour, dishonesty and revenge tour, the Mama Smurf, Baby Smurf dishonesty and revenge tour, the only silver lining about it is y'all making me go after my baby girl 50 times harder. Y'all making me go after my baby girl 50 times harder. So I done already sent the message to baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. Baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. Baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. You have 2 weeks to produce my child, who you've been keeping from me while I've been paying child support. Just like baby mom number 1. It's deja vu. It's deja vu. Collecting my child support, denying me my child. Collecting my child support, denying me my child. Collecting my child support.
He likes to repeat himself.
Me my child. So baby mama number 2, we talking to Miss Vegan right now. We ain't talking about Mama Smurf. She old news. She old crusty news.
Wow.
We talking about Mrs. Vegan. We ain't talking about Mama Smurf. That's old crusty news. We talking about Mrs. Vegan, baby mama number 2. You have until the eclipse of March 29th. You have until my Florida A&M University Black Psychology Conference return to produce my baby. If I do not meet and see my child by Saturday, March 29th, Mrs. Vegan, I will be going live and I'm going to tell the whole world information you don't want them to know. And Mrs. Vegan, I don't want to put your business in the streets. You are the mother of my beautiful African princess. You are the mother of my beautiful African princess. And I respect you, Miss Vegan. I respect you. But you are not going to deny me my child anymore. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. No problem. And no problem, I will be at the child support hearing. But we're not talking about child support right now. We're talking about a relationship between the prince and the princess. We're talking about a relationship between Queen Kong and King Kong. I better see my baby in the next 2 weeks. You better text me, date, time, place. And once I see my child, and I will schedule uninterrupted visits. Not in the house. We're not doing grandmama couch no more. I'm taking my daughter out with me, and she's going to spend quality time with me. She's going to go on the road with me. She's going to Africa with me. She's going to London with me. She's going to Jamaica with me. We're going to create a custody agreement outside of the white man. Oh, yes. Black self-determination. We're going to get back to Garveyism starting today. We're going to get back to Garveyism starting today. And all I'm going to say, you got 2 weeks where I'm going to go live and I'm going to tell some things that I know you don't want me to tell. Put me in touch with my daughter. Let's stop the nonsense. Since you had time to reach out to Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf, since you have time to go find Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf said that you said, Baby Smurf said that Miss Vegan found her mother to ask her if we were still in a relationship. Miss Vegan, is that true? Mrs. Vegan, according to my eldest child, Mrs. Vegan, according to my eldest child, you reached out to Mama Smurf.
So it sounds like he talked to his oldest daughter.
Dating Mama Smurf. Listen.
And it sounds like a whole bunch of
I didn't want to marry Mama Smurf when she had my child. I didn't want to marry Mama Smurf after she had my child. And I damn sure don't want Mama Smurf now. So you don't need to be asking Mama Smurf if we in a relationship. Absolutely not. Any woman that will deny a man his child has no right to be a wife to anyone. I'm going to say it again. Any woman who denies a man a right to see his child has no business being anybody's wife. Black men, it's time to unite. Pull-up season. So let me say this about the baby. Pull-up season. So let me say this about the baby mama.
Let me pause this so we can go to the next one here. That was interesting. I don't know what you guys thought about that. He seemed like he had a lot to say to, and he was saying vegan, and he was referring to the youngest daughter, her mother. In that clip, the majority of that was referring, the last part of that anyway, was referring to the youngest daughter's mother. So that's interesting. And he was basically saying, okay, a woman who denies a man the right to see his child basically shouldn't be anybody's wife. And he was telling her basically, look, you have to let me, basically he wants to see his daughter. And so my thing with that is, what do you think about that? Because the oldest daughter came out and she pretty much dropped a whole bomb on his relationship, really not having a relationship with him not being in their life. And so now you see him going on here and demanding the mother of his youngest daughter to basically he's given her a date and time for him to see his daughter. So for that to happen, it doesn't sound like there's a court order in place. It does sound like if he's saying that there's child support is one thing, but as far as custody, it doesn't sound like that, because for him to demand on the 29th of March, Saturday, March 29th, to see his daughter, and basically that to me sounds like that could have been already done before now. That sounds to me that your oldest daughter went on here and she outed you as far as you not having a relationship, and now you have to now show people, hey, she's not letting me see. Is she not letting you see your daughter, or is it something to where you just wasn't trying to see your daughter? Because for you saying, hey, I want to see her on the 29th, that tells me you had an option. He mentioned something, okay, we're not going to the grandmother's house or something, and it's not going to be like a couch visit. He wants to take her out. So it sounds like maybe with the youngest daughter, that might have happened before. Who knows what happened in between, but it's sounds like you want to have a relationship with your daughter. That's great to start somewhere, but it seems like your oldest daughter gave you the push you need to try to make these demands. And why weren't you demanding that before? Because it doesn't sound like there's a custody issue at play here. It sounds like all you had to do was just tell your child's mom, hey, can I take my daughter? Let me take my daughter out. I want to see my daughter. Sounds like that could have already happened before the whole issue with your oldest daughter coming out here, but that's just my opinion. Click the comments and comment below. I like to hear what you guys have to say about this. Let's go to the next video and see what he has to say in the next video. All right, let's get it going. Let's see here. And before I do that, I have to share my screen to that next video. So let me remove this, and I'm going to play the next video so that we can see there's another part to it, because Dr. Umar, he does long videos, so we have different clips here. Let me see. Let me stop this one. And I'm going to try to share the other one with you guys. I thought that was interesting, though, because he's putting out demands now, but I'm like, why didn't you do that before? Seems like you had that option. He's saying something about her wanting more child support or whatever the case might be. They have a child support hearing coming up. And so I don't know. Things are coming out here. You have different things, but just watch the video to its entirety, because the last video is also telling as well. So before I get that one, all right, let me see if I can find this. Okay. All right, let's get this one here. Make sure I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see what he has to say here.
Deadbeat moms, that's right. We keep talking about deadbeat daddies. When are we going to talk about deadbeat moms who keep the kids from the daddy? We keep talking about deadbeat daddies. When are we going to talk about deadbeat moms who keep the children from the daddies? Oh, yes. Get your boots on, black men. We marching. We are marching against the Department of Health and Human Services. We marching on Congressional Black Caucus. Enough is enough. Y'all can thank Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf. For Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf, I want to say thank you. Thank you for waking up a giant. Thank you for giving me the idea that it's time to organize black men against this disgusting family court system, this unjust family court system. We marching in Philly. We marching in Jersey. We marching in Georgia. We marching in D.C. We marching against family court in Baltimore. We marching in Fort Lauderdale. We marching in Miami. We marching in Savannah, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia. We marching in Brooklyn. We marching in the Bronx. We marching in Staten Island. We marching in Manhattan. We marching in Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Nashville, Knoxville. We are marching. No more money for deadbeat moms. That's right. We keep talking about deadbeat daddies. When are we going to talk about deadbeat moms who keep the kids from it?
So that was something. What about that? Anybody putting their boots on, getting ready to march? And that is something that's interesting what he said, because that is something that I actually thought about. And I did say it in another one of our streams that we did, one of our reactions that we did, Luke and I did. I did mention, and I said it to Luke, I'm like, okay, so that whole thing with courts and the court system and the custody battles and the laws of the land are broken. And I asked Luke, I'm like, why don't men try to get that change? Why is it that, we say, hey, the women out here, they have an option that they go out here and they get these men for child support. Why isn't anyone going and actually trying to fight that? And it's almost like you're giving up. And I actually can appreciate what he just said about that, because I think the system is broken. I believe that it's all designed to, at the end of the day, put people in jail, because when you can't pay that child support, they're quick to lock you up. And even when you're locked up, from what I'm hearing, is, they're still counting that time that you're in jail and you're not actually working. You're in the rears. So it doesn't seem fair, especially if there's things with men signing birth certificates. That's basically, you're telling the courts, hey, you can come after me, kind of thing. So that is important to make sure you're lining yourself up with the right person, because you don't want those things to happen. So it sucks if in situations like this where, someone is paying child support. I don't agree with that at all. If you do have situations, I'm not saying that's his situation, because you're hearing different things. And until we actually hear, I think we literally need to hear from the mothers. Again, if they come out and maybe say something. But right now, I'm going to share his last video, and I thought it was telling, because to me, it's everything that he just said in these other videos. I have to wonder, like, okay, you just said all that, but then to end it with something totally different from what you said. You were saying all that, but this last video, you're basically everything that you just said. I'm like, okay, are you taking accountability? Are you saying one thing? Do you mean to say another? Were you heated at the start of this video and now maybe you calmed down and you just pretty much said, you know what? Well, let's just watch this last video real quick and see. We'll come to you have your own opinions and we'll just see. But he said a lot, but I'm interested to see what he says here.
For what happened to my youngest. It's all my fault. Black men, if we are going to be kings, we have to admit it's our fault. It's my fault. I take full responsibility for what happened to my oldest. I take full responsibility for what happened to my youngest. It's all my fault. Black men, if we are going to be kings, we have to admit it's our fault. It's my fault.
Play it one more time.
I take full responsibility for what happened to my oldest. I take full responsibility for what happened to my youngest.
Okay.
It's all
I'm
my
gonna
fault.
end it right there.
Black men, if we are going to be kings, we have to admit it's our fault. It's my fault. I take full responsibility for what happened to my oldest. I take full responsibility for what happened to my youngest. It's all my fault.
All right.
Black
This
men,
one wants
if
to
we are
keep
going to be
playing
kings,
over and
we have
over.
to admit
Maybe
it's our fault. It's my fault. I take
he
full
wants us to hear
responsibility
this
for what
loud
happened to
and
my
clear. Let me see. There we go. Interesting right there. So he's saying in that last video, it's all his fault. And what happened to his oldest, what happened to his youngest. So that's how that video ended. He's saying that he's taking accountability for that basically being his fault. So like I said, it could have been a thing where when the cameras first started rolling, I don't know if maybe he was feeling some type of way. It seemed like he was very choppy, trying to get to the point with a lot of this, that to his youngest daughter's mother and giving her demands on what day he wants to meet and have a relationship with the youngest daughter. And then it turned into, hey, black men, we need to do some marching. He called out all the states and let's march and get these laws changed. And that part I agree with, because a lot of times people will say, hey, well, women, they have this going on. They have these rights and, they have a lot of things that they can do. The black man really pretty much doesn't have. And I agree with that. I do agree that they're like they're putting black men at the bottom of the barrel here. And it's like, soon as she says, hey, yeah, that's a child support. That's the first thing. Cause again, years ago for myself, that's what they push. That's the first thing they push when you try to get some kind of assistance. And years ago, I was out of work for a little bit and I needed health care. And I was going to try to get that for me and my kids just for a short period of time. The first thing when I went to get that assistance just for health care, okay, the first thing they wanted to ask, okay, father's name, child support. I'm like, just for health? They're like, yeah, child support. I said, never mind. Never mind, because I already know what that is. So it's all a business, and that's what they do. As soon as that woman goes up there for whatever kind of assistance she may be trying to get, that's the first thing they do. Okay, I need to know his name. Let's put him for child support. It's like, it's almost like you're selling your soul. She'll go in there with the mindset of, okay, I need this assistance for my kids and or I need that. This is what I need. And they pretty much present it like, okay, in order for you to get that, you have to do this. You got to sign him up for child support. So how many women out here that are desperate? There might be women who are really struggling, who does need that food card, or they need that Section 8, or they need something. So they're going to sign that. If they're not getting anywhere else, they're going to sign that. So sometimes people might look at that like, oh, she just went up there and got me for child support. But I mean, if her first option was to come to him and say, hey, let's work something out. Can you help with the Pampers? Can you help with the formula? Can you help? That should be the first thing. Let's see if he's going to help with this child. Now, if he doesn't help, okay, then there you have it. What can you do? Like, if you don't want that to be a thing, then do your part as a man. But for a woman, I don't agree with the women who are out here and they're being jealous because he might have moved on into another relationship. He's willing to take care of his child, but because you're jealous, you're going up there to try to hit him in his pockets when he's willing to see his child and do for his child. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Shame on the women that are out here doing that, because if he wants to see his child, he should have more rights just like you to see his child. Okay. But there are people out here who don't want to see their child. And like Dr. Umar said, what about the deadbeat mothers? And I feel like there are some out here that are deadbeat mothers. And it's a shame that the courts don't look at that, because sometimes the father, he might be more deserving or more caring with the child than the mother. He might be a better parent, but they automatically assume, mom, hey, she's right. So there are different situations, but I do believe that you men need to get together and I know I've heard guys say, oh, they're not going to change the laws, And yeah, because it's a business and they're getting money at the end of the day. They're taking their cut from that child support, and it sucks. It really does. But if you guys sit quietly, things won't be done. Somebody needs to rattle those that make some noise about it, because you guys just getting on the internet and talk about it, that's not going to do anything. So I do agree what he said about that. Do some march and do something. Maybe it can change some laws. You never know. And if you just sit back and you don't try it, you're not going to know. But that's my video for tonight. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope it added some value. It was good to just have another side. I don't want to be biased where it's just posting the daughter or posting things that, even the woman that we posted the other day, she wanted to share her experience with Dr. Umar when she seen him in person and had a couple meetings with him. And that one, you guys have to go back and see that, because I can't get the saying out of my head where he said business before back shots. I'm still laughing about that. But in the same breath, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed the reaction video, and have a great rest of your evening. Until next time, and as always, at LUKE-N-SHAE'S place, your mental health is important. So a positive mentality is a destined reality. Stay positive, wear your smile, and stay blessed. Until next time, take care.